Ever wonder what it takes to build a global industrial powerhouse from the ground up? And I'm not talking about in a few decades. I'm talking about in just 5 years. Well, today, we're diving into the blueprint of a company that did exactly that. It's a real masterclass in strategy, legacy, and just incredible speed. Let's get into it.
So right off the bat, here's the big question we're tackling. How in the world do you go from a brand new startup to a trusted global manufacturer in only 5 years? I mean, that sounds pretty much impossible, right? Well, one company managed to pull it off, and we're about to see exactly how they did it.
And that company is TZN Transformer. We're going to break down their journey piece by piece to really uncover the blueprint for their incredible and super disciplined growth.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We've got 6 parts. We're going to start with their origin story, map out their explosive 5-year climb, then we'll decode their strategy, look at the cold hard numbers, and finally, see what's on the horizon. So let's start at the very beginning.
All right, part 1, a global energy powerhouse. Let's just set the stage here and talk about how TZN really established itself as a brand new force in the energy world.
Now, to really get how TZN grew so fast, we actually have to rewind the clock a bit. Because you see, their story doesn't really start in 2019. It begins way before that, with the solid industrial foundation of its parent company, the TZN Group.
And what's so fascinating here is the legacy. The whole story kicks off way back in 1985, with a company obsessed with one thing: quality. That DNA, that commitment was passed down and then diversified, which led directly to the launch of TZN Transformer in 2019. And as you can see, they're not slowing down. They've got a defense company planned for 2025. The big takeaway here? This overnight success was actually decades in the making.
Which brings us right to the heart of our story, the 5-year ascent. And this, folks, is a perfect case study on how to scale a business like crazy, but with discipline and a crystal clear vision.
Just look at this timeline. This momentum is wild. They launch in 2019 with their eyes set firmly on the global market. By 2021, they've got their ISO 9001 certification. That's basically their passport to international trust, proving their quality is top-notch. Then 2022 hits, and it's a huge year. They double their production capacity and ship their very first export. And by 2024, they've earned the CE mark, which is the golden ticket you need to get into the massive European market, and they've already blown past 500 completed projects. This is what focused execution looks like.
So how on earth did they do it? That's what we're digging into now in Part 4, the TZN Strategic Playbook. This is the secret sauce, the real nuts and bolts behind their amazing success. Okay, so their whole strategy really rests on 4 main pillars. First off, they don't just sell you a product. They actually become your partner and co-design a solution with you. Second, they know that on big projects, time is money, so they deliver fast and on time every time. Third, they've got all the global certifications, which means their stuff works anywhere in the world, no risk. And finally, they're built to be flexible, so they can solve those unique, complex problems that the bigger, more rigid companies just can't handle.
And they don't just talk the talk, they walk the walk, with this 5-step promise they make to every single client. It all starts with designing the solution together, then it moves to precision manufacturing, a guarantee of on-time delivery with support on site, full after-sales service, and, this part is absolutely crucial, they measure performance and listen to feedback to constantly get better. This isn't just some workflow, it's a machine built to create trust.
Now, a great strategy on paper is one thing, but does it actually work? Let's get into the proof. We're going to look at the hard data and the physical assets that back up everything we've talked about so far.
This is where their infrastructure becomes a literal strategic weapon. Get this, they have a 50,000 square meter factory. To put that in perspective, that's almost 10 football fields of production space. And it's just 10 kilometers away from a huge international shipping port. You combine that kind of scale with that location, and you have a massive competitive advantage. It just slashes time, cost, and risk for all of their global clients.
Okay, let's talk about technical muscle. Their power range is absolutely massive, from 25 kVA to 25 MVA. That means they can build a transformer for a small workshop or one powerful enough for an entire city's power grid. They can handle up to 66 kilovolts. That's the heavy-duty voltage you need for critical national infrastructure. And it all goes back to their core philosophy. No one size fits all. Everything is custom engineered for the specific job.
And all this expertise lets them play in the big leagues, these really high-value sectors. We're talking renewable energy projects, critical stuff like data centers, and even heavy industry like nuclear power. Plus, they can handle super specialized jobs, like creating transformers that are shock-resistant. This is definitely not your standard off-the-shelf manufacturer.
And you know, the numbers really do speak for themselves. In just 5 years, they've already produced and delivered over 3,500 transformers.
Their global reach? It's already expanded to more than 15 countries where they're serving 88 different clients.
But here it is. Here's the number that proves the whole strategy is working. A 95% customer satisfaction rate. Remember that 5-step promise? That trust-building machine? Well, this is the result.
Now, we're not talking about small-time jobs either. They're building crucial components for e-mobility in the Netherlands, for hydrogen production plants for ExxonMobil over in Italy, and even providing power solutions for the nuclear industry. This is proof that they can deliver in some of the most demanding and high-stakes environments in the world.
So, that brings us to our final section, engineering the future. After a climb this fast, you have to wonder, what's next for this global powerhouse? Well, their roadmap is anything but shy. It's clear and it's aggressive. By 2026, the plan is to double the entire business and make a serious push into the huge US and UK markets. So how are they going to do it? By expanding their network and doubling down on what they do best, targeting those high-growth sectors like renewables and e-mobility, where their custom, flexible approach gives them a serious competitive edge.
In this quote, this really just captures their entire philosophy perfectly. We believe the right partner doesn't just complete projects, they grow them. This tells you everything. It's not about just being a supplier, it's about being a strategic partner that's invested in growing right alongside you.
So, we'll end with this thought. If this is the strategy, this is the execution, and this is the result that TZN managed to pull off in its first 5 years, it really makes you wonder, what on earth are they going to engineer in the next 5?